Hello, my name is Caitlin Sada, and my assigned country for the Culture Meets Culture project is China. The first thing I'd like to talk about is China's flag. China's flag was officially adopted on October 1st, 1949. The red represents the Chinese Communist Revolution. The 5 stars represent the unity of the Chinese people under the leadership of the Chinese Communist Party, and the stars show that unity should revolve around a center. The next thing I'd like to talk about is China and its culture. China is rooted in deep history that has been passed down through many dynasties and is one of the world's oldest cultures and the most dominant of East Asia. The traditional cultural values that influence the Chinese people are harmony, benevolence, righteousness, courtesy, wisdom, honesty, and loyalty. Harmony in modern Chinese society tries to maintain harmony between humankind and nature, people and society, members of different communities, and between body and mind. Benevolence is the importance of familial ties and blood connections and is held in high esteem by the Chinese and extends to friendships and social relationships. When it comes to righteousness, the Chinese say everybody is responsible for the rise or fall of the country, and you should be the first to show concern and the last to enjoy yourself. Courtesy stresses modesty and prudence. It is about respecting laws and preventing misconduct. Wisdom in Chinese culture requires that one distinguishes right from wrong, place capable people in suitable positions, know oneself, and be resourceful. Honesty in Chinese culture refers to trustworthiness, integrity, and credibility. Loyalty in Chinese culture stresses service to the motherland and faithfulness to the family. The main art forms collected over the centuries for the Chinese were painting, calligraphy, architecture, pottery, sculpting, bronze, jade carving, and many other fine and decorative art forms. The Chinese do have 3 main forms of art referred to as the 3 perfections, and they are calligraphy, painting, and poetry. Chinese literature is among the most imaginative and interesting in the world, and valued their literature highly. Early stories in China were ghost stories and myths. All literature was first handwritten and then hand copied. Then the wooden block printing became popular. The Chinese literacy works are extremely numerous, spanning for over 2,000 years. While reading through articles and books provided, I discovered that the first Chinese immigrants arrived in 1870, and they were mainly single men with wives back in China. They mostly took on jobs in railroad construction because the jobs would allow them to return to China if they needed to. Of course, they spent many years being discriminated against by the American people. Between 1880 and 1942, the Chinese people were not allowed to move to the U.S., but 500 of them from Mexico were allowed to settle in San Antonio, Texas, due to their help with American soldiers. It wasn't until 1942, when China and the U.S. were friends, and Chinese people could finally and legally move to the U.S. When settled, they brought new values, forms of art, and literature. We now use these things all the time and have them within our museums so that the many generations to come learn where we gain cultural influence from the Chinese. Thank you for listening to my Culture Meets Culture project, and this is my works cited page.